This is Activity 5.4 on page 95, Assigning Resources to Tasks. The file that we'll be working with in this activity is titled HR Manual Assignments. Your project plan is taking shape, and now you need to assign resources to tasks. After you make some assignments, you notice that you forgot to add a resource to one of the assignments, so you'll go back and make this change. The PMO has given you a budget of $50,000 and you need to assign it to the project summary task so you can track actual expenditures against the budget during project execution. So we're going to start by opening up our file. I'm going to go to Open and Browse, and you want to navigate to your home drive, Project Part 1 folder. And we are in Lesson 5, which is titled Managing Project Resources. So we're going to open up that subfolder. And again, the file we want is HR Manual Assignments. So make sure you are selecting the correct one and click Open. We want to switch over to the Gantt chart view. And then we're just going to hit our scroll to task button so we can view our Gantt bars. And before we make any changes to our document, to our file, we're going to do a save as to make a copy. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to save this to my current folder, Managing Project Resources. And I'm just going to update the name of the copy file to My HR Manual Assignments and click Save. So number 3 says to insert the work column into the task entry table. We're going to right click our field heading where it says duration, and we're going to go down and insert column. So it gives you all of the column options from here. If you just type in the letter W instead of scrolling all the way down, we can select work from here. And it inserts that work column for us. And I just want to click and drag my dividing column line over. We want to make sure that we can see at least our finish column. Number 4, assign resources using the task entry table. We're going to double click 2.1 Review Existing HR Manual. And this opens up our task information dialog box. We're going to navigate over to the Resources tab. And clicked into the first cell under the resource name column. We're going to use our drop down and we're going to select HR Manager. And we can click OK from here. The work column has a value of 8 hours, and HR Manager appears next to the Gantt bar for this task right here. So you can see that HR Manager has been assigned to the Review Existing HR Manual task, which is 2.1, but known as task number 3. And using that same technique, we're going to make the following resource assignments that they have listed in your book. This is page 96, and that is step 4F. So for 2.2, I'm going to double click, go make sure I'm on my resource tab, and we're going to assign HR Manager. And click OK. Oh, HR Manager and Project Manager. I'm going to double click 2.3, and this is Review Government Regulations. This is going to be Attorney 1 and also Attorney 2. Click OK. Going to double click 2.4, which is Interview Department Heads. First one is going to be Customer Service Manager. And then the second resource assigned is going to be Finance Manager. And the third is going to be IT Manager. And click OK. We're going to scroll down and double click task 6.3, which is Review with Senior Management. And this is going to be travel expense. And it tells us to enter 1,000 in the cost field for this. Click OK. If you want to scroll to that task to see it in by your Gantt bars, you can do that. You can see travel expense, $1,000. All right, next we have 7.3. We scroll down and double click 7.3, which is print proof. And we're going to assign the printer operator and also paper. And we're going to accept the default of 1 ream of paper and click OK. And then lastly for this, we're going to double click 7.5, which is print final. And again, we're going to assign printer operator and paper as well for 1 ream. And click OK. Number 5, assign the 2 attorneys to the 2 review legal department tasks at the same time. You're going to go up to the Resource tab of your ribbon, and in your Assignments command group, we're going to select Assigned Resources. And this opens up our Assign Resources dialog box. So with this open, in our task entry table, we're going to select 3.2. So we're going to scroll up. We have 3.2, Review with Legal Department, and also we're going to hold down our Control key and select 6.1, Review with Legal Department. So with those 2 tasks selected, we're going to go back to our Assign Resources dialog box, and we're going to select, I'm going to need to scroll up, we're going to select Attorney 1, and we're going to hold down our Control key and select Attorney 2. So right now you should have 4 things highlighted, 2 in your task entry table and then 2 resources in your Assign Resources dialog box. So with these highlighted, we're going to click on Assign. And you can see that automatically both attorneys 100% committed to these tasks, and the cost for each is $800. Now, number 6, assign the 2 writers to the 3.1 Create Outline task. In our task entry table, we're going to select 3.1, Create Outline. And in our Assign Resources dialog box, we're going to scroll down and select Writer 1. We're going to hold down our Control key and select Writer 2 as well, and then hit our Assign key. Again, 100% work committed for each of these resources with a cost of $1,440 for both, for each, I should say. All right, we can close out of our Assign Resources dialog box. And number 7, use Scroll to Task to verify that assignments have been made to tasks 3.1, 3.2, and 6.1. So I have 6.1 already shown on here, and you can see Attorney 1 and Attorney 2 have been assigned to that particular task. With 3.1 selected, if I scroll to Task, you can see I have Writer 1, Writer 2 assigned, and for 3.2, I have Attorney 1 and Attorney 2 assigned. Next, number 8, we're going to add a resource to a task, increasing the work and leaving the duration unchanged. We're going to double click 2.4, which is Interview Department Heads. And this is going to open up our task information dialog box. You can see right now we have 3 resources at 100%, which is 8 hours of work for each, and that adds up to 24 hours of work. In the first blank row of our resource name field, we're going to add HR Manager. Who is also added at 100%. And we're going to click OK. So for this task, the work has been updated to 32 hours. And the duration is still set to 1 day. You would think that adding a resource would reduce the amount of work. However, effort-driven scheduling is not on. Number 9, we're going to observe how project handles the additional resource. We're going to place the cursor over the task name for 2.4 Interview Department Heads. And we're going to select the drop-down arrow next to the diamond and exclamation point. So you see this little kind of hazard sign here. When you hover over that, you get a drop-down arrow. So we're going to select that drop-down. You can see we get options. You added resource to this task. Do you want to reduce duration but keep the same amount of work? Increase the amount of work but keep the same duration? Or reduce the hours, resources, work per day but keep the same duration and work? By default, the amount of work is increased but the duration is kept the same. We're going to see why increasing work is the default setting. We're going to select any empty area in the window to close our drop-down list, and we're going to double-click on Task 2.4 to open it in our Information dialog box. We're going to navigate over to our Advanced tab. Because the task type is Fixed Units, which is listed here along the bottom, and effort-driven scheduling is turned off, The additional resource increases the total amount of work, but the units and the duration remain the same. We're going to click OK from here. And next, we're going to assign the project budget to the project plan. We're going to scroll all the way to the top of our task entry table, and we're going to double-click My HR Manual Assignments, which is our project summary task. We're going to navigate over to the Resources tab. And in our resource name, first line drop-down, we're going to select Project Budget from here and click OK. We're going to change our view next by going up to our View tab, and in the Task Views command group, we're going to select Task Usage. We're going to insert another column here by right-clicking on our work heading and selecting Insert Column. And we just want to scroll down and select Budget Cost. And if you remember in our little blurb before the activity, our budget for this project is going to be $50,000. So we're going to enter that for our project summary. So you want to enter that. You want to select this second cell, project budget, under the budget cost, and you can update it there. If you get these, what we call railroad ties, which is a bunch of number symbols, it just means that the text or numerical data in that column is too wide for it. So we can just double click and adjust the size of the column. Next, number 11, we're going to view the cost and budget cost fields in our task entry table. So we're going to switch back to our Gantt chart view. We're going to add another column by right-clicking on our work heading and selecting Insert Column. You can type the letter C, and we're going to add the cost column. And next, we're going to add another column. We're going to right-click Cost, Insert Column. And you can type BU from here, and we're going to enter the budget cost column. So now, whoops, let me scroll up. So now in our task entry table, we can easily see our budget cost of $50,000, but we can also easily see the cost of each individual task as well. So we can see create outline for our two writers is $2,880. You remember we had 100% for each of these writers, and they each had a cost of $1,440. So, right, this makes sense why the total of this particular task would be $2,880, because that's two writers at two writers total for a cost of $1,440 each. All right, we're going to go up to our quick access toolbar and save our updates to this file. And we can close this out by selecting File and Close. And we'll leave project open for our next activity.